Hello everybody, so here in this short video I would like to explain you the importance of having a good and readable code. Indeed, when you have a clear code that says what it does, it's much simpler, and with JavaScript it's so common, unfortunately, to see this kind of conditions. This is just a sample I've just made before this video. It's a bit silly, but you would have a if condition with a few different conditions here with different operators. So we would have if this and this and this, or maybe we would have this and this and this, and maybe we would also have something like this, or again something else. Have or setting dot status is false, and and we would have something else. And this is so hard to read. However, instead you should refactor this Boolean condition into a readable clear function or method name, depending if you are in an object, in a class or not, if you code OOP or not. So if you are not in a class, that's okay. We would just say like is I don't know, the feature eligible, for instance. It's not the best function name, but it's already better. And you would refactor, I don't know what's happening with my keyboard, you would refactor a bit like this. So that's obviously better. And then you would have probably and here the settings. Perfect. You see, so that's already better. Eligible, I think I've just made a typo. Perfect. So if this is eligible, yes or not. If it's not, well, it will be false, otherwise it will be true. But you can still see that in this function, it does more than one, and how the solid single responsibility principle says, one function should just do one thing. It will also be much easier for you later on to reuse another function, because that function will just do one thing and won't rely on something else. Because if a function relies on different objects or different things, it's much harder after later on to reuse it elsewhere. So for instance, this one, you can already like is ID is user ID correct, and that will be one function, and so that will be the check. Maybe here. I obviously the example is not really good. I didn't have much inspiration today. Or eligible. Let me just search on my Google. Eligible. Let's see. ELIGIBLE. Oh yeah, IBLE. Perfect. So let's just rename like this. Beautiful. And here I would just check if the status is correct. So I will have another function is status valid. Again, it's not ideal, but it's already better. And I would have this. And then yes, so we can already refactor this. So it will be, obviously it will be is user ID correct. That's the second one. Perfecto. And this one will be is status valid. And here that we can leave it for now. We don't need the instances here. And you see, that's much better. And if we are in a class, obviously this should be private, and that one as well. And this way, and then outside of that class, in your logic, in your code, in your service, you would have this. In your current, I don't know, service could be controller as well, and you would have this. And here to be, let's say, setting maybe, something like this. and that will be wrapped in a setting class. So you see, that's how you can already very quickly improve your code, and it's much easier as well to unit test this kind of small unit portion of code, because you have just a few functions, so it's much easier to test each per each, rather than a whole huge function. That's almost impossible to cover every edge case by doing unit tests. However, when you have really small functions and not a huge function doing a lot of things to test, but just some small functions, you would not be discouraged to test it, because it's much easier, and you can just write one test every day, and that's it. Every day, I also suggest you to spend 15 minutes every morning to write unit tests. It's a good habit to have. And I hope this video will help, and let's see in another video. Ciao.